Hey everybody, welcome back to the Ambassadors channel. I'm Tyrone, and today we're talking about Proverbs 24, verse 30 to 34. But before we get into it, I just want to say that what we do and how well we do it says something about us. It's not very hard for a stranger or outsider to take a look in on our life, even without knowing us, knowing you, and say, hey, and figure something about you basically from sheer observation. One of the things I try to teach my children is that everything speaks. Everything has a voice. Whether you believe it or not, it is speaking and it's speaking loudly. For that reason, we have to be mindful of our nonverbal communication because sometimes they have the tendency of speaking louder than what we're actually saying with our verbal words, vocal words, I should say. So in Proverbs 24, verse 30 to 34, we have a man that is a lazy man, and we have another man that is a stranger that is passing by the home of this man that we found out is a lazy man. And so in passing, he saw that the man's vineyard was in a shambles. There was weeds all over the place. It just was not kept up well. And then the man continued on and saw that the man's wall was broken down. He saw his wall was broken down. And back then, having a wall around your home or around your property serve a few purpose. I'm just going to highlight the one today, and that is that wall really was part of the man defense. It was a defense against intruders, a defense against outside forces trying to come in. Also, his garden was supposed to be, his vineyard was supposed to be a place where over time he would be able to harvest whatever produce he or she grew on that particular vineyard and eat the benefit of it. But that wasn't going to happen because again, it was all overgrown. But what I really want to get at is that this man that was in passing saw the home of this lazy man and took notice. Now he could have easily kept on going and mind his business and say, hey, it's none of my business. This guy just didn't take care of his house. But what he did, he observed it, he considered it, and he learned from it. And he looked at it, he considered, and he learned from it. And what was amazing that what he learned, he didn't have to go to the house of the lazy man and speak face to face with that man. He basically observed the condition of this man's home, the condition of this man's property, and came to the conclusion that indeed this is a lazy man. Not only that, so for us, here's a few takeaway from the simple passage of scripture that is going to enrich our life and help us to grow spiritually as well as naturally and become more mature. So hey, so notice that the stranger, um, everywhere he saw that belonged to the lazy man was in the same condition. It was in the same messy, unkept condition. Why is that? That's easy. Simply because if we're lazy in one area of our life, we're going to be lazy in the others. Why? Because laziness and procrastination spread. If you're lazy, it's not isolated in one area of your life. You're going to be tempted and want to be lazy in other areas as well. So that's one takeaway from this that we can learn from each and every single day, that we have to be mindful of the things we're doing and how we're doing it, because if we do it slouchly, if we do it lackadaisy, if we don't put our best foot forward, then we're really doing ourselves a disjustice, and we are creating habits that's going to slowly bring us into a state of laziness. And once we get into that state of laziness, we're not just going to be lazy there, we're going to be lazy in other areas as well. The man's garden did not become crowded with weeds and thorns overnight. It gradually happened. As a matter of fact, I'm going to say that he saw it and he knew it, but he put it off so much to where it became too much for him to do, and just laziness just kicked in and took over. Robbed the man of his produce, robbed the man of his desire, because again, I'm sure his desire was most likely to be able to eat from his vineyard. Just like if you were to plant a garden, you want to be able to eat from your garden. You want to eat your tomatoes. You want to harvest your peppers, things like that. That's the whole purpose why you planted a garden in the first place. So that's number one. We got to be mindful and be careful of the habits that we are forming, because we can open doors to laziness. And once laziness and procrastination creeps in, it's not only isolated to one particular location in your life or one area in your life, but it's spread from home to work. It's spread from another takeaway from this that we can grab is that the man had a very good idea. It was a very good idea to start a vineyard. It's always a great idea to have a wall around your property, of course, for offense and defense, like I stated previously. But the thing I'm trying to get at is this, that we can have good ideas. We can have great ideas. We can have God-given ideas. But if we're not disciplined enough to carry it through, if we're not disciplined enough and mature enough to know, first there's an excitement stage, but after the excitement, their work is required to be done. We have to be disciplined within ourselves to continue on what we start. Not give in to the laziness, not to give in to the temptation to withdraw, not give in to the temptation not to read our Bibles, not give in to the temptation to cut your prayers short, not give in to the temptation to do these things that we know over a period of time will become a habit that work against our prosperity, work against our maturity, work against our personal development, as well as spiritual development. With saying that, I really believe that a lot of the time, God does not allow us to have certain things or give us certain things because we're not mature enough or disciplined enough to be able to carry through, to the end. We will get started, but we'll not finish it. We'll get excited about it, share it to people, and once difficulty comes in or once things comes up to contend against it, we will throw in the towel or give in easily. So I'm encouraging you not to do that. If we start something, especially if we're talking about something positive, something to encourage others around you, continue doing it. Continue doing it. Don't let laziness and procrastination get the best of you.